It's your girl Mina Mendoza, little girl, big personality, queen of spice. We live, we're here, we're ready. Yeah, it's a very special day today. I feel like it's really, really hot today. Like, I came out in the morning and it was like stinking hot. So everybody's got their shorts, everybody's feeling good. It's a whole vibe. We're also in a new month. We're in the month of June, so it's crazy. Like, we literally are in summertime right now. So, yeah, it's a vibe. If you're just tuning in right now, it's going to be a great episode. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into my episode. So, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my very special guest today. Shout out to E.
Hey, thank you guys. Hey,
how you feeling, E?
I'm so excited right now.
So excited?
Yeah, of course. That's that energy.
Yes, all the energy.
The Queen of Spice comes to deliver. Let's go.
All right, so I have a question for you, E. One thing that I like to do before I start, I'm starting my show, a quick little icebreaker. What did you have for breakfast today?
What I had for breakfast today? Man, I went and I ain't not gonna lie. I literally worked through the whole night. Oh. So my breakfast was literally a $6 meal deal at Dunkin' Donuts.
So what's this $6 meal deal look like?
It's just croissant
Are we doing
sandwich.
bacon, egg, and cheese, sausage,
bacon,
egg, and cheese
on a croissant? You know, they get your little coffee and your little hash browns. Can't
How
go wrong
does
with
he like his coffee?
Light and sweet.
Light and sweet.
Light and sweet. Simple.
Okay, bacon, egg, and cheese, croissant. Do you put ketchup, hot sauce?
A little ketchup. You can get a little ketchup. Yep.
Okay.
What did you eat for breakfast today?
What did I eat for breakfast? I had McDonald's.
McDonald's?
I had McDonald's.
Oh, snap.
I looked at it. I was like, yeah. Because I haven't had McDonald's in so long. And
so
one
good.
thing about me, McDonald's breakfast hits.
Oh, no, it does.
I don't.
Certified hood classic.
For real. But think about it. Other fast food breakfast places are good. But McDonald's breakfast just hits different.
Oh, they definitely does.
It's just so good. I don't think there's anything on that breakfast that tastes bad.
No, I think it's
right.
I think it's legit. Yeah.
Yeah, but But one thing about me, I don't eat eggs from fast food places. I think it's weird. Yeah, I don't know why. I just think the eggs in fast food places are weird. I have to make my own eggs or go to a diner or more cooked.
Yeah.
So I always get instead of getting a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin, I just get a sausage cheese McMuffin.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a sausage cheese McMuffin, a coffee, black 3 sugars, and a hash brown, and that shit hit.
That definitely hit. The hash browns definitely
The hash browns are crazy good. You can eat 5. It's wow, dead ass. I'll be like, yo, they're vegan. I'm gonna eat 5 of them. Period. Let me stop. All right. So I want to jump into the bio that you sent me. So one of the first questions that I do want to ask you is, what's the first rule of closing a deal fast in high pressure environments?
In high pressure environments, you got to understand your surrounding and you got to understand who you're talking to.
Okay.
So it's a little different because within seconds, people are going to decide whether they like you or not, just human nature.
True.
So when people look at certain things, depending on getting the information quickly, you have to know what kind of person you're talking to, what kind of buyer are they, and how can you appeal to their needs.
Yes.
Honestly, the best way to get it done is active listening.
Okay.
If you can get somebody comfortable enough to talk to you, and they will tell you what they need.
Yes.
And instead of focusing on maybe issues or problems that they might have, if you go and say, I have the solution, you go and you create that want and you make it their need, and then you fulfill it.
Yeah. I love that. It's you make it very tailored.
Yep.
Very tailored. And that's how interactions should be. I feel like it's a give and take. You're telling me something, I need to absorb it and almost paraphrase it back to you just to make sure if that's really what you want. I also sell too. Not drugs. I'm just saying. But I get it. That active listening, attentive listening, it's really a thing, and it really helps you build rapport on that person or company, and it just makes sure that you're aligned with everything, and it also makes sure that the deal interaction is genuine.
Yes.
Yeah, because they'll feel that if it's not genuine, and I guess that's when like they don't want to buy.
It's literally vibes.
Yes.
You can. People are gonna sense your vibes, and they're gonna be like, "All right, cool, man. This person's really genuinely looking to help me out," and you want to be like that with everybody.
Yes.
It just helps to be in the right circumstances to see. All right, cool. Maybe this person's more of an emotional buyer. You go and you.
They keep crying. Nah, let me stop.
Like, how on is so bad? No, trust me. But you have people that will come and do all these kinds of types. They're impulsive buyers that just like. I've had somebody literally just come one day. It was snowing, and they were in a little two-wheel drive. Like it wasn't a front-wheel drive. It was a rear-wheel drive. They slide into the dealership. They just bought a Jeep.
Oh,
They was like, I can't do this no more like that.
they ain't got money like that.
Some people, you'd be surprised.
Wow.
You'd be surprised. Like, it's an amazing network, and I've done it for about 10 years, so almost a decade.
Yeah.
And the networking is just phenomenal.
Okay, what dealership do you work for?
Right now, I'm independent.
Okay.
And I actually work heavily with a broker. And so right now, I'm basically referrals, and I definitely want to go and give the referrals to my friends and family. I want to always make sure that they're getting amazing deals and being taken care of by the right people. So
would you consider you a middleman?
in a way, yes.
Okay.
Yes, a liaison, if you would.
A liaison.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. So, all right, E, can you walk us through your biggest power move moment?
Power move moments, there's a lot of power moves. And
Okay.
depending on how you do them. When you work in business, you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly and everyone's happy. So, for example, depending on identifying the type of customer, consumer that you have, you can then make certain power moves.
Yeah.
There could be times where I can be like, take it or leave it.
Facts.
And that's very forward, very direct, and it's simple.
Very like driven. It's like a driver.
It's literally like a straight hour to the face. And it's just like, you can't answer any other questions. Either you're going to take it or you're going to leave it.
Facts.
And, that's a power move. There's other types of power moves, silent treatment, having people think into their head and things like that, and have them really mull it over. But you want to do certain ways and tactics that you're, obviously morally ethics that come in, and you want to be helpful. The overall goal is helping them find a solution to their problems and making them happy at the end of the day.
Okay.
So there's a lot of ways you could do it, but I think maybe one of the best absolute power plays is literally just
Take it or leave it?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had more take it's or leave it's?
If I have had more tickets, honestly,
Okay.
asking direct questions. Like, if you literally give direct information to somebody, they can just make an honest answer. And if they don't want to, or if they say no, realistically, that's when your job starts as a salesperson.
Okay.
So if someone goes and tells you no, it's not the end of the world.
Facts.
But your job just started.
Okay. Respect the hustle. I like that. All right. So, one thing about this show, E, is that, we ask things based off your bio, but then we ask some fun things.
All right.
They're just going to be like, so I'm going to go back and forth, all right?
All right, perfect.
So, if negotiation were a sport, what would your walk-up theme song be?
Oh, man.
I ain't never scared. What? I ain't never. Let me stop.
Oh, man. So if I go and I would have a theme song going into it, honestly, like, there's times where I've even sold a bunch in one day, and I was like, I have to hear this song.
Okay. What song is that?
And it was literally A$AP Ferg's Work. Put in work. And that was literally just... it's like one like them jams. It's just one of the hits.
Okay. Feel good vibes.
Yeah.
Successful vibes.
Gucci down like I'm Biggie Papa baby.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. What's the wildest excuse someone gave to get out of a business meeting?
Oh my God, you gotta understand. So many people. It's such a numbers game. People will say some ridiculous things.
Like what?
Oh man, I had a lady one time that realistically, if you want to hear a crazy story, she was nutcase.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but she was just crazy.
Yeah. Why do you feel like she was so challenging?
She went and there was a scenario, and there's a bunch of things that maybe sometimes people talk about. You could talk about your best customer. You could talk about my worst customer.
Okay.
This is literally my worst customer.
Oh.
We literally had to go, and this is probably a few years back. This lady wanted to buy a car, had no ID, no kind of information.
Yo, that sounds mad. Facts.
Yo, for
That's
real, like
super sus.
it was just
yo.
so
Let me buy
crazy.
this car, but I'm not gonna tell you who I am.
Nothing.
That is wild.
And then it was just such runarounds on runarounds on runarounds, and it was just crazy. And then sometimes, people just do things, try to get into deals, and you try to make deals, and then sometimes you got to just be like, you know what, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
This lady was so bad crazy. Everybody in the dealership knew who she was. Like, it was just like the attention and things like that.
Yeah.
And then making a deal with them, obviously I had to repo our car without even having a deal. Like, it was insane stuff. Like, 3 weeks later, we had to take the car back because there was no way this lady was getting the car. But it just...
How did y'all repo the car?
I had to and slide off,
Just wash your hands and walk away.
I was like, that's not me. I didn't even sell her the car, technically. She was my original customer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, but I ain't doing this.
No.
Like, I'm good. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you're fixing yourself. You got to make sure you got to put yourself in a position where it's like, all right, cool. If you were in a management position and you just see somebody trying to sell somebody and they're just all over the place and there's craziness and just like, they're going to look at you and like, what are you doing? What's going on with this?
Facts.
And I was like, slide.
I'm done.
I had to go. I was like, hey, I got somebody right for you. Got a trainee. I was like, hey, listen, man, have fun. I'm sorry. But at the same time, it just had to happen.
But they repoed her car.
Like, they didn't even get a chance. Like, when I tell you, like, middle of paperwork saying, oh, yeah, I'll promise you this, I'll promise you that, and depending on circumstances, we will go and give good faith to people, And I just looked at him like, all right, guys, you guys can do whatever your decision is, and then that's it. So I kind of left it on my hands, but the person ended up having to go in, who sold her the car, had to go and get the car back from her.
Oh, my God.
Because it couldn't even get processed properly. So I was like, it was a little insane. But one of the craziest things is that when they pulled up to the apartment, and they said, hey, we need to talk to this person. This person needs to give us the car back, right?
Yeah.
The neighbors came out and said, this lady's crazy. Like
What?
that, yes. They was like, are you here for so-and-so?
Yeah.
And I'm like, obviously, you just mind a bit, like, he's like, this lady's a menace to society. And it was just funny. It reminded me of, I forgot that movie with, oh man, she is on a TV show. I forgot the actress's name. Mindy and Molly or something like that. Or, I forgot the name of it. I may be butchering it, but she's just straight, like, wild. And I was like, you know what? I had to, like, no.
Crazy. Buying a car with no ID.
Yo, like, people will go ahead and try to do a lot of stuff, and they just realize they can't do certain things, obviously. So some people don't know genuinely, and some people think that they can just go in there and get, a $50,000, $100,000 car, but they never had a car before. They never had a history on a finance. They never had. So it's like every individual person is different. People don't come in with no cosigner sometimes.
Oh my God.
And unfortunately, they don't know that they need one. And everybody is different. So that's why you have to ask specific questions and you have to get information quickly.
Yeah.
If you have someone that's 18 years old, never bought a car before, they can probably get bought, but they would need certain circumstances to do something because they're new credit.
Yeah.
Versus a person that just tanked their credit, they can't really get much of anything. So it's more of like a take it or leave it because it's like, hey, this is what we can only offer you.
I can't give you anything else.
Exactly.
Fix your credit, pay your bills. Thank you.
Pay them bills.
Come talk to me after. All right. So let's go back to the bio love. So we talked about your biggest power move, the take it or leave it, which I love. How do you spot a red flag in a business deal within seconds?
Just dodging certain questions, not giving you proper information.
Yeah. What do you mean as dodging certain questions? Like, what's a move that they do when they dodge a question?
A lot of the times.
What's your name? Quiet.
A lot of times I like to be a little bit more direct. So the more direct you are with somebody, the more information you get, the more you can just have the process just run as smooth. Yeah. When they're not giving you the right information, they're not giving you the, you get sometimes some people, you can feel it, like, all right, cool. And then you know what? You just have to kind of obviously take chance. In any business you look at, you have to take chances.
Facts.
You have to take risks. That's the point of owning a business, and that's 100%. Why you get paid the best. But the reality is that you have to kind of have like your intuition, and And if you're not feeling it, there's nothing wrong with saying no.
That part. So I guess the red flag is like when they're actually intentionally dodging the questions.
Yes, they're not giving you the proper information. They're not like, if you can ask them 5 different ways of saying, hey, listen, if this is working out for you, if I accomplish this for you, are you taking this right now? Or are you leaving this? Like, what's going on? And then they say, oh, maybe next week or maybe this, it's very dodgy. So it's like, you don't want to go and be in a position where, you're wasting someone's time or have someone waste your time at the same time.
Facts. Okay. We also have a little bit of some people in the check-in. Just want to go ahead and show that love. Shout out to Nadine Blanco. And what's up, girl? Also, shout out to Kay from Staten Island. Checking in.
Okay. Let's go.
We got people in the check-in. Thank you for checking into the show. I love you guys. Saying. Alright, so we talked about red flags. Now, what makes a negotiation why can I say that word? Negotiation?
Negotiation.
How do you say it? Negotiation. I don't know why I'm looking at the word. I'm like, it doesn't look like it's spelled like that. All right. So what makes a negotiation instantly shift in your favor?
Oh, when they say yes, like when you got, like that's it. It's in my favor as long as you are.
What if they say maybe?
You have to thin out the line and get them to that yes.
Got it.
So like your job starts when they say no. So then when you get them to maybe, you're just
getting closer.
Yes.
Okay.
You're tightening the wrench a little bit longer to make
that.
Until you get to the yes, that's when is the accomplishment.
I love that. All right. How about this? If businesses were animals, what kind of animal is a small startup versus a Fortune 500?
All right, so a small business, I would treat it like a petting zoo.
A petting zoo?
A petting zoo.
So you got goats.
You got
cows.
Yes, everything you could touch.
Okay.
Everything is accessible.
Okay.
If it's a small business, there's no way, ands if for buts, that you're not going to be talking to the owner at one point. That's their starting off. That's their kickoff. They have to build those relationships.
Yeah.
And some people are really lucky to talk to and know an owner.
Yeah.
And, obviously there's so many benefits that you can have once, you know somebody. They can take care of you tenfold because they know that you'll give them X amount of referrals. So it's like there's so many benefits into that. So small businesses, I would call it considered like a petting zoo because you can touch, you have access.
Okay. So what would be considered a Fortune 500?
I would say that it would be a Shark Tank, 110%.
A shark?
A Shark Tank.
A Shark Tank.
Yes,
okay.
It is a dog-eat-dog world. And like, you got to understand, like, in those particular circumstances, the only way I can say it is who's hungriest the most?
Okay. I saw a crazy video about a shark literally a couple days ago. It was like, wow. Because when you said it, I'm like, oh my God. It was like, I don't know where it was filmed. But like, you know how like, first of all, people who do this is like wild to me. Like dead ass. So they were like in the middle of the ocean and they had like these cages. And I guess you could like chill in the cage with like the sharks swimming around.
Yes.
I'm good on that, dog. I don't want to do that. What if the cage just drops? And now you're stuck there going below and God, no. Absolutely not. But in this video, what's crazy is that luckily no one was in the cages.
Okay.
So you literally see a giant shark start to swim next to the cages, and how it got inside the cage, I have no idea. The shark got inside the cage and was literally swimming in the cage trying to get out. So how it got in the cage, I have no idea. But it got stuck in there, and they're like freaking out because like the whole cage is just shaking, and then they're freaking out because they're like, oh my God, is somebody in there? Is somebody in there?
Dang.
Is somebody in there?
Okay.
So now I'm looking at the video, I'm like, yo, am I watching somebody get murdered? I'm like, yo. And
just waiting for like a red cloud.
I got mad nervous, Doug. I was just like, hey, yo. And then the shark just jumps out of the hole. completely like blah, like just jumps out. And I was just like, luckily nobody was in there. But that's crazy. Imagine you in a cage and the shark just jumps in and wants to chill with you.
I swam with sharks before.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, so-
What the hell?
I'm sorry. I have.
Well, like baby sharks?
No, like I went and I swam with sharks. Like I told you, it's
Where'd
the work.
you swim
it's
with
to
sharks?
work hard, play harder. No,
You for real?
I'm so serious. I swam with
Where
sharks.
did you swim with sharks?
Disneyland.
No way.
Yes, Disneyland.
Which one? Florida,
Florida,
California?
Yes. My mom let me swim with sharks. Shout out to mom. My mom's watching.
That's crazy.
But like, yo, mom, shout out. You know.
What the hell? Like,
Yeah.
hey, yo. I would
Yo.
never let my son do that.
When well, it was Disney. All right, so it's Disney, and they have
Yo,
all the
why is
sharks.
that a Disney attraction,
Yeah,
though?
that literally is. And
Yeah.
then on the bottom, they have all the sharks. And they have a sign that says, hey, you could swim. They put you on a snorkel. You go look down at all the sharks. And they tell you you have to have upper body strength. You can't kick. If you kick, they'll come up. So they have signs everywhere. Do not kick your legs. You have to swim. And me, I float. So I'm good. I'm a strong swimmer.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, my mom was like, all right, yeah, go ahead.
You weren't scared?
No.
Were they big?
They were pretty big. When you get to them, they were, I don't know exactly. They weren't great whites, obviously, but they were sharks.
Did they have teeth?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, this just doesn't sound safe. Like,
Like,
yo,
it literally is
like,
an attraction.
no?
Yeah, of course.
There's no way they do that now.
Yeah, listen, this was in 2007, 2008. And I was like, Mom, I want to go swim with some sharks. She's like, man, go ahead. Go do what you got.
Yo, that's crazy, dog. That's crazy. I mean, great experience. You're still
100%.
here. You're alive.
How many people can just go and say, yeah, I swim with sharks? Like, who have you ever heard that from somebody?
Nah.
See, look,
God.
everything, that whole dynamic, it's
That's
just gotta work hard, play harder.
crazy. Out here.
But I was young with it too.
It's like, yo, I want to be a Shark Tale. I want to be a Shark Tale. It's crazy. Okay, E. He's adventurous. Heard you. All right, let's get spicy a little bit.
Spicy.
Do you believe in friendships in business, or is it all strategy?
It all depends, because I went in, the way I look at it is, if I do business with my friends, I want to give my friends everything. You know, I want to go hard for my friends and my family. I want to make sure that they're not getting played with. I want to make sure that they're getting the best deals possible.
Okay.
And I go hard for my friends.
Okay.
Anybody that needs help from me, I try to be there as much as I can. And what I'm capable of, you know,
Yeah.
obviously. You can have friends that do business with each other. There's no conversational difference for me and you having a conversation and then doing that even with not necessarily just friends, but just anybody.
Yeah.
Like if you were sitting down and say, hey, Frain, I need this or I need that, you know, I was like, all right, cool, I could do this for you. I could put you in the right direction. And every time I get one of my friends or family in the car, I take a picture. I was like, listen, look, they're happy. Make sure the rates, everything's done, taken care of. But yes, you can mix business with friends, but you have to be creative with it, you know, and you have to be respectful with it, because obviously you want to look out your friends. You know where you're going to hurt your friends.
Yes.
You know, anybody just in general, because obviously you do something crazy, they're going to come back to you like, hey, what's going on here? You know, then you're not your friend no more.
You're a shark.
Then you're, yes.
Okay. I mean, I definitely can agree with you on that. Like, I feel like business and friendships are definitely possible as long as we're not taking things personal. We have to understand that it's business, you know what I mean? And we're here for the same goal, and the goal is to be successful and make money, you know? And I feel like as long as people understand that goal and don't get greedy and don't do shady stuff, because technically you shouldn't be doing shady things, and as long as you're transparent, like completely communicating, I feel like it's possible. But also not being, I feel like one of the biggest things with friends and businesses is being able to accept the feedback sometimes, because there's gonna be times where you're not gonna be told what you want to hear, but that's life. And a lot of times with business, you're gonna get a lot of that coaching, you're gonna get a lot of that feedback. And if you could understand that feedback is being said to you, when you understand that it's being said to you to grow, you know what I mean? then we're going somewhere. You're looking at things in an open mindset, because that's the thing. That's a real true friend. Friends that are challenging each other to be better.
Yes.
And
100%.
you can't be better if everything is always great. You know what I mean? It's like you have to grow. And sometimes you got to be uncomfortable to grow. And some people don't understand that.
Listen, I have friends right now that can be like, yes, 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 yes. And it's fine. But I have my real friends that I have been with for years.
Yeah.
That'll literally go ahead and say some left field, like punch in the face, but it's the truth.
It is.
And if they have to check you or check anything,
Facts.
they have the right to. Like, they put the time in, you know? Mm-hmm. I have people that I adore, and I'm very humble because I wouldn't be where I'm at today
Yeah.
if it wasn't for my friends, if it wasn't for my family, and the amount of help and support that I've gotten throughout the years from all these selective people that I love to death. Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of really wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
I went in when just a real quick story, but I moved to Florida, right? Like everybody in New Jersey, when
Of course.
when they're
That's why you
overwhelmed.
want to swim with sharks.
when, when you're overwhelmed
go ahead,
in
chilling
New
in the
Jersey,
peninsula.
when
Okay.
you're overwhelmed in New Jersey, people just want to move to Florida and like think it's the answer.
That's true.
But you ever hear that scenario, but it's not really the answer. So I went down to Florida. I went there for like almost a year, not little less. But I realized it's not for me.
What part of Florida?
I was in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And basically it was like Las Olas and all that stuff. And it was like basically the old Miami, before Miami was Miami. So they have like a nice little district, fun, you know what I'm saying? But then going down there during the summertime and then being down there and realizing, wow, the season's not changing. It's still summertime. It's 9 months in.
Oh, you missed the fall?
I missed the fall. I missed the winter.
winter.
I came back and I tell you, like, I was so done.
You came back
Florida.
with a North Face.
Nah, I didn't have no. I came back with $700.
Okay.
I ended up getting an apartment, a car, and a job all in one day
For $700?
for $700.
That's wild crazy.
And I said, I don't care. I'm gonna make it.
Okay.
But don't get me wrong. I've had multiple helps. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a friend that allowed me to have a room with him so that I could go ahead.
So you had really support. You had a
Real
supportive
good
foundation.
It's it's the network that I'm so focused on building.
Yes.
Because these people are just genuine people that want to help.
Yes.
Answer questions, but like, you know, to do that, I think that's one of like my best accomplishments. But I'm not saying it wasn't a struggle. He allowed me. Obviously, he rented me a room.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, you don't have to pay me until the end." Like, he gave me a little time.
Yeah.
I took $500. I put it down on a car, and I've been working with cars for so long. You know, for $500 down, you know, to get a car, you know,
Yeah.
it works. You know, if you know what you're talking about.
Especially when you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had a dear friend of
Because
mine.
you would have already spent $500 on Ubers and Lyfts if getting around, like, very quick.
Yes.
So I feel like that's the smartest thing to do, is an investment.
Yes. So what I basically did was I lined up. I talked to my friend, got the job. Like, he ended up working, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I'm at this dealership. I can get you in."
Yeah.
Right. So boom, I sign the paperwork. I get the job.
Yeah.
I take the $500. Boop. I go and I literally put it down, get the car, have my insurance already, everything's said and done, and then place to stay. In 2 months, it only took me 2 months to get a better car, a better job, and a better place to stay.
Good for you.
But I was so hungry of how I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so, like, I need to be back. Like,
Let's go.
and that's the hustle that a lot of my friends and family, they have. Like, a lot of people have this hustle. And I know if I can do it, even, don't get me wrong, I had loads of help. Like, everybody, you gotta have loads of help to make sure you can get it done.
And also
But-
allow yourself to receive the help.
Yes.
Don't go on that ego, dog. Let people help you.
Yes. So there's people I see sometimes like, oh, I did it all by myself. And I'm just like, did you really? And then I just like me, because I know I couldn't say I did it all by myself. I'm humble and say like, yo, like, my couch was given, like, this was giving me, like. And
He was like, yo, I was on Cup of Noodles. Like, yo, listen.
Yo. But I'm actually fortunate and lucky to be in the right positions where I didn't really need to be in a position where, you know, that stayed for a while. You know, everybody goes through struggles, everybody goes through things, and everyone's on different pages. So if you're just starting your side hustle, if you're just even trying to get an interview, I would even put a video on my Instagram just to say, hey, here's some quick tips on even if you need to get an interview, just to get a job. Because you need capital for your side hustle. You need capital for your side ventures. And, you know, once you build a certain amount, you can start making your investments properly.
Okay.
So, you know, that's what I've been trying to do lately. And then I've been consulting with small businesses and people that have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing their dedication. I was like, why wouldn't I want to go and step in and say, and what you said prior about the criticisms, it's really important because everyone takes it with like a grain of salt and says, hey, listen, if I need to improve like this, and Ethan says it, let's see. And I was like, wow. And they all gave me the opportunity
Yeah.
to go ahead and at least check to see if we can change something, tweak something.
Exactly.
And make it work. And
that's the whole point.
Just trying to, at that point, you're scaling. You're trying to scale their business to be in a certain place.
Just don't take things personal. Understand that it's growth. Because there's so many people, you give them feedback and then they shut down.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, Doug, you got to have thicker skin. You got to allow me to speak my mind because I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm being real with you. And also, I'm being real with you because I see a potential that you have and I'm trying to have you unlock it.
Yes.
That's like really the best way. And when people can understand that that's a conversation of growth and also someone caring about you, because if they didn't care, they wouldn't say anything to you. They'll just
They could yes you to death.
exactly.
And you
And
don't
at
want
that point, you're just stagnant, and we don't grow if we're stagnant. All right, I like this. I like this. All right, E. So I see you got some books here. What's that?
I got you a gift, actually.
You got me a present.
So
You
I got
got me
you-
a present.
I'm all down for anything I do, having notes. So,
Okay.
like, I got notebooks. And I like this one because it's a little affirmation.
Let me see.
And the affirmation, you could go ahead and read it for everybody.
Organized AF.
Right.
Hashtag organized AF.
So, like, you know, being organized is, like, one of the key components. Obviously,
Hello, guys.
writing
This is
it.
my little gift right here. Organized AF right here. Feels nice. It's blank.
So you
About
go
to
ahead
fill
if you
it.
ever write some
Thank
notes.
you.
You know, I'm always on the go. So, like, you know, to write something down just so I can remember it. You know,
Yeah.
if I have a business idea, if someone's telling me something that they want to do, I'd always write it down just in case. You know, you
Yeah.
can always put it on your phone. It's always great to put it on your phone.
I'm not a fan of putting things on my phone.
But the cognitive function of actually putting it down, you gave the effort to actually write it out. And be like, all right.
Exactly.
And I'm a firm believer on like thoughts versus the timing of execution will determine how successful it is.
Facts.
So if you had an instant thought and you're like, all right, cool, I want to do this for a business idea,
Write it down.
and you wait like a bunch of years, the likelihood of its success, like, you know what I'm saying, depending on the varies, but you know, but if you just hit the ground running and you write it down and you go ahead and you keep on going and going and going, the idealization from the thought process to getting it on paper to make it real and then pursuing it
Yeah.
is what will be your success.
I love that. And I feel like a lot of people, especially with this new generation, is starting to almost forget that. We have become so technology based, and it's so sad how people are glued to their phones. And don't get me wrong, I make my business off of being on the phone, but I also take breaks. I learned to socialize, be in that moment with people, talk to that people. But one thing I learned that when it comes to learning something, writing it down helps you retain it, because not only are you writing it down, but now you're reading it. And we've got so accustomed that when we write something on a phone, it's like write, done, and it's almost like you're on airplane mode, you know. But I feel like when you're writing it, you're actually in the moment because you have to sit down and write each letter. And it's like, I feel like your brain just absorbs it more, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I've always been a fan of like writing things down, kind of doing things manual. I still do things on my phone, but I'm a big fan of just writing it out. I'm also a big fan of creating lists. Every day I have a list of things that I do. I swear to God. And in the list, I start it every day when I wake up. I wake up and I'll just take a piece of scrap paper and I'm like, all right, these are the things that I need to get done. It just makes me feel more productive. I feel like when I wasn't creating lists, I thought I wasn't being productive. And then when I created lists, the satisfaction of crossing things out or having a whole bunch of things crossed out for that day, you're like, wow, I did a lot today. And sometimes you don't realize it. So lists rule my life. Literally, I'm not even kidding. I'm always with a piece of scrap paper, like, oh, God. I even like remind myself, oh, do payroll or gotta go to the bank or do the schedule, just like that. But lists are like so important to me. So
Yeah.
important.
Yes. I went.
Are you a list person too?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually started ventures of listening to certain people, and honestly, this is kind of like back in the day before the era of like technology just taking off, social media going crazy. I just seen it one day, and it says, write down a 5-year list.
Ooh.
And I was researching up, and it says just write what you want to accomplish within the next 5 years.
Love that.
And I was literally in my room in my mom's house, And I'm like, dang. Like,
Looking at your shark picture at Disneyland. Nah, let me stop.
You know
she got a picture.
Nah, I don't know.
I would.
Oh man, I did get the ears.
Okay.
I did get the yes, I did get the ears for Mickey, but
Okay.
you know, looking into it, I wrote down like, all right, cool. I want a job that pays me so much. I want a car. I want, you know, a place to stay. Like I put it on there. I was like, I want to start my business, and then I basically wrote a 5-year plan, right?
Okay.
And every time I accomplished something, I just crossed it out. Because out of the list, I looked at what can I achieve as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And I was just at the time, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and what can be like the best thing I could do here? Like,
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I basically broke it down and I said, how am I going to achieve this? So I chose to pick a car.
Okay.
So like to buy a car. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
have a car at the time. And I was like, you know, I want a car. And I was like, how can I get a car? But how, and me in my mindset, I'm like, how can I get a car and not be played?
Yeah.
I don't want to be played with. I don't like being played
Yeah.
with. So I was like, you know what? Let me apply for a dealership. And then I applied for a couple of dealerships. And then I had a dear friend of mine at the time. I ended up getting a job at another dealership. But
Okay.
she worked at a dealership.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, instead of going there,
Yeah.
trust me, you want to come to my dealership.
Okay.
And it was two
So
different.
she's selling to you.
She's talking to me, yes. So,
Yeah.
And she kind of really put me on. And she's like, hey, look, I'm really cool with the managers. I can get you a job here.
Yeah.
And then I did explain to her, like, hey, I just got hired at a Kia dealership.
Yeah.
And she was like, come to this Jeep dealership.
Ooh.
And I did Jeeps for like most of my whole entire, like, Chrysler Jeep Dodge was a heavy hitter.
Okay.
I did dabble in a couple other brands. And then, but yeah, that's how it kind of started. And, you know, the lifestyle, what you can see, you know, the amount of money at the age you're looking at is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then obviously the overall goal is learning. And it's a slow burn because thank God I was living with my mom because it was so sporadic of how much you would make. You can make like $100. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know, it was just like pure like commission.
Okay.
So like you're like talking about like your salary was $100 a week. You think you could live off $100 a
No.
week?
No.
No, right?
Yeah. I was like, hold up. I was
Wait.
like, whoa.
But you know, they went and I didn't make $100 a week.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I went and in that like transitioning, I was a lot of people. I was like having fun,
Yeah.
doing my thing, you know. And now I'm in a position where it's like, all right, cool. Like that's the whole work hard, play hard thing. And but just not to get too off track, but I got put on, and I was so happy because it really changed my life.
Yeah.
It was a great opportunity. I got to meet so many people, network, and learn so many things. And it's kind of on a premise of like it's who you know, and just being in front of so many people, learning how to talk, cordial, polite, knowing how to identify certain people, their
Yes.
characteristics. You know, it's really enhanced. It's enhanced, and I want to apply that to with my friends. Like you said, like you know, mixing your friends in your business. So I want my friends to know that because I don't want them to get played.
That part.
So, but getting back to the list, and I kind of went into a little side story,
It's
but getting back into
okay.
the list, yeah, I went and that's what I did. And I didn't think that I'd make a career out of it at that
Yeah.
point. And I just didn't want to get played getting a car. So maybe I'll just do like a little dealership, get a car, and then go somewhere else. But come to find out, you know. But yeah, so like, and then I tackled each thing on the list. And it was funny because I was moving out and I didn't realize, but I grabbed the list with me. And it wasn't until like more than almost 5 years later that I looked at the list and I was like, wow, I have everything on here that I wanted. And it was just like, I started that at that time frame. So because of that initial list kind of just changed my life and put myself in a direction. So I know that if businesses or my friends with their side hustles and them trying to get into LLCs and all this kind of cool things, if they write down that list and pick which is the best way to get to it,
Yeah.
it'll change them and just throw them into the direction that they want to go into.
And that's crazy. It's very ironic that you mentioned that because I did that list back in 2021. And I have a list like that. And it's like, I wouldn't say it's a 5-year plan, but it's definitely in my house. And every year I look at it to cross it out. And it's
You
like,
look at it. That's
no,
important.
of course. And
That's
then you're like,
important.
whoa, I really accomplished that. And like with me, is like, it's about not pressuring yourself to finish the list so fast. Like a list like that takes time, and I feel like you have a quick list and then you have like a long-term list.
Yes.
And I feel like that was also very satisfying. I was like, oh my God, I never realized that I got to accomplish, like you said, most of your goals. So I love that. Big fan of lists.
Yes.
I suggest if you haven't created lists yet,
Yes.
please do. It literally helps keep your life in order. Literally. Since I've been making lists, I never forget how to do things anymore, or never forget to like hit someone up. Like I'm very like just
Organizes.
my
AF.
word is more like credible.
Yes.
Now, not that it wasn't before, but now it's even more credible. If I say something, it's because it's gonna happen. Period. All right. I do gotta ask you a question though, really
Yes.
quick. What's up with the freaking rubber ducks and Jeeps?
The rubber ducks.
The
and
duckies.
The little duckies.
Yeah, like why? What's the connection? Every time I see someone with a Jeep, they always got a little duck.
A little duck.
Yeah. All right. Najee, you ever seen that? Jeeps with ducks? Yo, right? I'm not bugging. You ain't working no Jeep dealership.
Nah.
Yo,
Like
anybody
ducks.
who's in the check-in right now, tell me if I'm wrong. Have y'all seen Jeeps with duckies? And yo, next time you see the Jeep, what's the duck? Where's that?
I know that Jeep has a lot of hidden Easter eggs on the car. So
What do you
they'll-
mean
they'll-
Easter eggs?
Yeah, so Jeep will have little characters and little decals in hidden places all over the cars.
I'd be like, yo, I didn't ask for this. Give me $1,000 off. Let me stop.
No, but it was pretty cool is that Jeep actually does that. They have like a scavenger hunt. You can look at your own
Yo,
car.
get out.
And you can find mad things. They have like Sasquatches and like
What?
Yeah, they have like Yetis.
They got
and all-
Bigfoot?
No, they do. They like, and you'll see it. It's like it's creative. Like, and to say a duck, I'm like a little confused.
Yo, I'm
But,
dead
like,
serious. No, but it's an actual like rubber bath time ducky.
Okay.
Like a plastic ducky. And for some reason, like it's like I'll see Jeeps with like one. And then I'll see Jeeps where it's literally a line of them. That's why I'm like, yo, do they just like buy this car, or like every time they get like an oil change, they just get a duck? I'm like, where is this coming from?
I know 100% that Jeep is definitely a community. So like there's people that they call it the Jeep wave. If you're in a Wrangler,
Yeah.
people in Wranglers will wave to other people in
I'm
Wranglers.
dead.
No, I swear, it's literally
That's
a whole
awesome.
So it's like a.
I wonder
it's
what
a-
Bieber people do to each other. like one of those. Let me stop. So it's a community.
Yeah, so like as I said, like you could test drive one, and then
Yeah,
people
yeah,
wave
yeah.
to you like, why is someone waving to me? I was like, oh, that's the community.
No, it's the community.
No, that's the community. I was
Yo,
like, you
that-
get yourself this Wrangler, you're gonna be waving back at them.
I'm dead.
And it's a whole thing. There's literally a breakdown. Once you buy the car, there's a whole UR links that you get sent to your email.
No way.
And it just shows, yeah, and it's just like everyone can.
It's like, yo, you want to move to this state? Get a Jeep. Get a Jeep. You're gonna get a whole bunch of friends.
No, 100%. Because
That is
then
awesome.
People can, and it's specifically like
That's
with
actually
the
really
Wrangler.
cool. I never knew that.
Yeah, so that's
Thank you for sharing that with me. I think that's really, really cool. That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. I like that. What's crazy is, a Jeep was my first car that I learned how to drive in. Oh my God, yo, Mina Mendoza, oh my God, when I first started learning how to drive, I had a 92 Jeep Cherokee, no power steering. But honestly, that
like in
made
there.
me, no, now I'm a great driver. Anybody who gets in the car with me learning how to drive a car without power steering, I could drive through anything.
Oh, yeah.
Anything. Like, it taught me how, one, I drive with one hand. I can't drive with two. Because, I don't know, the power steering, I got used to it. I know how to park. I know how to, like, yo, I am a great driver. Shout out to the Jeep Cherokee 92. It was made out of metal. That shit kept me safe.
Those things are tanks.
Oh, they were.
100%. There was times where I would tell people and they would come in and say, I had a 99 Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
And boom, like something crazy could happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I got into
And,
2 accidents.
and
The other
they're
car got
walking-
messed up.
they're
My car was fine.
You're walking away.
No, 100%.
You get into an accident, one of those Jeeps, you're walking away.
Yeah. I mean, the accidents were mine, by the way. I was a great driver. I'm a great driver. It was
power
other
steering.
people, but I remember, yo,
Yeah.
stop playing me, Najee. Yo, I was in a Bergen parking lot. And I remember this poor kid, yo.
Oh my God.
He hit my car, and I forgot what type of car. I think he had a Honda Civic, like one of those '08s before it got remodeled. And oh my God, yo, his whole like side was just crushed in, and my car had nothing.
Just ate it.
It was just like more like paint scratches, but no dent, nothing. I was like,
People would say if like people have total losses in it and they just walk away. I know someone said that something happened with like a deer, for example, and then like
yo, knock on wood. That's my worst nightmare.
But then like no, it's not a good scenario. But and they would basically say I would have loved to keep my Cherokee if I could, but unfortunately I can't. But he's like every story when they told me they were like they walked away.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the best things I can say. Like there's history, like, and just knowing that like there's reliability behind certain things. So I'm by definition I am biased. I love all cars, but I definitely am a Jeep person.
It's the community.
It was definitely being a part of the community.
Yeah.
And just hearing great and amazing stories. You know, I just wanted to stick with it as much as I could.
Yes. Okay. All right, love. So let's go back to the bio. Let's go back to the bio. So we talked a little bit about red flags, your biggest power move. You say success and soul go hand in hand. You wrote that in your bio.
Yeah.
How do you keep your soul in business?
It's very, very difficult.
Okay.
But if you can do it in a way where you know you're going out of the way to help people, then it makes it fulfilling. When people come to you and they tell you, oh my God, I'm so happy. You don't know how happy I am.
Yeah.
And then they constantly will tell you, oh, great stories.
Hold on, we do got a question.
Okay.
We got a question from Just Kate. What's his zodiac sign? I must know.
My zodiac sign, I am. What do you think? If you had a guess.
No, this is a guest watching the show right now. They're asking you.
Oh.
They're asking you.
We got a question. Let's go.
Kate from Staten Island is like bold shark.
Go.
What's his zodiac? I must know.
I am a Taurus.
He's a Taurus. Oh, he's an earth sign. See, I'm a Capricorn, so I get business.
There we go.
Business is like my second language. I will sell you a popsicle. Like, I'm that serious. Don't play with me. But there you go. You got it, Kay. He's a Taurus. And I feel like every earth sign is a good business person. I can't say so much about Virgos.
Seeking stability.
Yeah, facts.
In the right ways.
I like that. And shout out to El Haj, all the way from Brooklyn. They only do that in Jersey. What they do in Jersey? The Duckies? What? How do you know that? They don't do that in New York? They don't do that in Brooklyn? That's a lie. I don't believe you, E. I don't believe you. All right. So we talked a little bit about the soul and business. I know I cut you off, love. So if you want to continue, I'm sorry about that. It's just there was a question. I don't want to not ask the question.
So like it feels good. You feel good when you know that you help somebody.
Yeah.
And there's times where you're having these conversations with people.
So is it like food for the soul?
It feels so good when you know you have somebody that you just like honestly went beyond, like above and beyond, and they just reciprocate it so well.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's the opposite. Sometimes you can go and bend your back, for somebody, and they could just still be like, oh, I feel like I could have done better.
Bend down.
But like you did like you literally was just grinding your bones. Like that's how much you were getting it. But then at the same time, like, the people that really receive it, like, wow, I have my car still. I'm so happy. Thank you for looking out for me, showing them special programs and things like that. Some people can take the initiative, and that defines you from being a great person versus like, somebody that just like, all right, cool, next. Respectfully, it is numbers, but if you could do it and manage it in a way where these people come back and say, yo, you did such a great job with me. My cousin needs a car, or my cousin wants to do business with you. My best friend wants to do business with you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be cars. It could just be anything. You know? If I'm at a point right now where I'm transitioning, trying to do more small business consulting, and I just want to be result oriented at this point. I'm not even like looking to charge anybody. I'm just saying, hey, like just join the network. Let's get it going, and then I'm gonna show you the results. Yeah. So I'm actually working on a bunch of projects right now. Okay. Little by little, and I kind of want to give them, like little shout outs and things like that. I want to make sure that they're good.
Let's give the shout outs.
All right. So right now, you gotta understand, like one of my day ones. Off the rip is Matthias Scott. Like you're literally looking at it like that. Like that's my brother. You know. Elevated healing therapy.
Get your massages.
Get your massage.
Get your massages.
Honestly, it's out of this world. You can literally feel 10 times.
Shout out to Matthias.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And you know what's crazy? On the scale of how well he's been structured, he didn't even need me. He's just my brother, and he said, you can come with me regardless. The scale of how much he did, and he went, and I would go, and there would be times where I was like, hey, we should do this, and this, right? He's like, but I'm already doing it. And then he's on his page. It's like he's like, I'm already there, and I'm so happy for him. But he respects it. He's like, dang, like Ephraim really knows what he's talking about. I'm doing this now, and then it's just, it wasn't any criticism or anything like that. It was just like, damn, like we know what we talking about, like and it's that
big dogs, woof woof.
Yeah,
let's go.
And I love this so much. Another one I'm working on right now is actually a dear friend of mine. Her name is Jasmine.
Okay.
And and she is what she like to call it, a baddie nail tech. And honestly,
baddie nail tech.
She's literally doing nails. She's been doing it for a long time. And I try to work on some things. And, we're going to see some projects. I bet, and basically a lot of, being more like social media, things like that. She's doing it. She's doing it all on her own.
What's her Instagram handle?
I think it's Jazzy from the Block for Instagram. I could look it up. I could definitely go ahead and
just so we could give like the proper flowers. If anybody wants to connect,
if you want to go actually look for the nail tech business site that she has, it's No Bad Vibes NJ.
No Bad
Vibes. So
her
her company is No Bad Vibes.
Period.
And it's all about literally. If you see her sets, like you're gonna see it soon because it's already in the making. Like she has so many pictures, she has so many clients that are happy, and honestly,
where is she based out of?
She's based off in Jersey.
Period.
She's, doing her thing.
Okay.
And then right now, as I said, the best thing to do is follow the Instagram for right now. She also has TikTok and things like that. But that's one of the cool things I was looking at. Another dear friend of mine that I actually really, really care about. I worked with him at a business relationship with him prior to me hanging out. Is going to be the XL brokerage that's doing trucking insurance. So it's a little different, but it's insurance. And yeah, man, it's just so many things I'm working on right now. But for us, the shout outs, those people have been there for me.
Love it.
And there's gonna be more. I mean, I'm just gonna give you those guys for right now.
Let's go.
But
he just sprinkled.
Just a little bit. Sprinkled. And right now, there's so many people out there that's working hard and doing their thing, and sometimes they just need to be on that extra step. And to have somebody that says, "Hey, I care about you. Let's go get you there."
Period.
And having that backup support with nothing in return, just results. Let's go ahead and get it done.
Let's go. All right, I love that. All right, let's get funny again.
All right.
Let's get funny.
Let's kick it.
Period. Got so many good ones. I'm like, which one do I want to ask you? Let's see. Hold on. I have a couple. I'm just like, damn, do I want to ask this?
Yeah, go for it. We're here to have fun, too, because that was the point. We're going to work hard, play hard.
Would you ever go into business with an ex?
Hell no.
Whoa! Why?
Hell no.
Why?
What?
What if she was your friend?
I have like a lot of my exes. We're all friends.
Okay. You want to help them out?
I mean, if they needed certain things, depending on the circumstances, but to go into business with them, yeah, I'll pass. I was like, hey, listen, look, you can do this, you can do that.
I'll help you get your business, but I'm not going to open up a business
to like
for you.
be like partnership. Like if they're ex, they're for a reason. And if you can't date them properly, you're not going to do business properly with them either.
Okay.
Don't put yourself in the position.
Fair.
Eject.
Eject. Yo, I'm done.
Yo.
All right, how about this? What's your test to see if someone's actually about their grind?
So, like,
I feel like I'm putting you on the spot.
It's not necessarily testing people because, like, everybody tests people every day. Mm-hmm. So it's, like, common. It's just looking at the dedication, People... If you talk to somebody, they've been doing it for X amount of years.
Yeah.
They're dedicated. Like that's their hobby. That's what they want to do. Like they're focused, you know. And that's what you would ideally want.
Yeah.
A person that can just say, oh, I want to do this one day, and then the next day you want to do something. They don't, a little incisive. There's nothing wrong with it, but you have to pinpoint something. You have to get something to stick.
Yes.
I don't think there's necessarily tests on whether or not I would do it. I would honestly want to see them and see some results with their dedication, and then pursue it.
Okay.
Then I'll reach out.
How about this? If you could consult any fictional business, like Dunder Mifflin, would you help and why?
Oh, man. So,
Like, imagine Michael Scott was a real person.
you know what's crazy is that I love The Office. I always watch the episodes, but I'm going to keep it real. I have not watched it completely, like in one
No
sitting.
way.
Like, I've always seen episodes, and I've seen such amazing actors and stuff like that come out of it.
You never see parkour.
Parkour!
Yeah.
And then, obviously Dwight and all them and stuff like that, So to say that I could follow their particular business model, all I know is that they sold paper.
They did. They were from Scranton.
And
PA.
and then the only thing that I thought was pretty funny with that is just like at one point it was like, we're gonna beat the competition, and they lowered their prices where they're just not profitable. Like, I don't know if I remember seeing some episode like that.
I think it was I think this was another episode. I'm thinking about the episode where Dwight tried to beat the computer and he beat it. He was like, I will beat this computer. But I always remember that episode with Dwight. Dwight was the best.
It was funny because it was surprisingly, I think at the end, I'm not to recall, but I do enjoy that episode. But I do believe that he cut prices so low that I think he actually made his own business. And then try to cut his old business. Yeah. And then he did such a good job that the actual original business had to buy him out for his contract.
Yo, that's just
crazy. He just stole all our customers. We have to buy him. Yo, there's no customers. He's literally giving them money.
I love Michael Scott. He is the most oblivious but such positive boss ever. Like how you still got a job is wild, but you're cool. Like you're cool.
As I say, to do business with them, to be honest with you, I haven't really watched it enough. I do enjoy a couple episodes.
Okay.
But I'd have to have more research.
What about Bob's Burgers?
Bob's Burgers? What? That is funny.
What would you do?
Oh, all right. So Bob's Burgers, all right, we're getting on social media. We're getting Bob on Instagram.
Let's get rid of the weird sister. Let's get rid of Tina. Keep Tina?
Keep Tina.
What are you going to do with Tina?
Man, I'll put her on TikTok. She'd be like picking her nose and something. I just like, look at this restaurant, this girl right here. Like, man, I'll market it. I swear, there's no bad publicity. It's just funny.
Period.
She twerking. I was like, get it, girl. I'll support it as much as you can. She's like,
Okay.
But like, it just, you gotta know where to put it. But yes, I would definitely set them up with a social media. I've done that before for companies too.
I love that.
I set up their social medias and things of that nature.
That's dope. All right, we got enough time for one more question, and I feel like this is the best question to ask. So I don't know, E, if you ever watched the show before, but there is something that I asked during my show called, it's like the special card is the Mina Mendoza card. And with the Mina Mendoza card, think of it as an unlimited Amex card. Okay. So no interest, you're not gonna have to owe it, nothing. But there's some things to it. You could only use the card for 24 hours. So meaning at 12 a.m. you have the card, but the minute it goes a second over 11:59 p.m., it's gone. Just like Cinderella. Okay. Now,
does all the things that you purchased on the card also disappear?
No. Oh. As long as it's purchased with the card before 12 a.m., like the next day. Yeah. So one thing about the card is that you have to be, I always tell my guests, like, you have to be realistic with what you ask for, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to go to Dubai. Da, da, da. Okay, well, you have to consider the time that it's going to take you there and the time that you have to get back home, because the Amex card is gone. You feel me? So you want to be realistic. But honestly, the world is yours. The world's your oyster. What are we doing with the Mina Mendoza card?
As realistically as I can be, I would probably finish and complete my computer setup.
Okay.
Just so I can go ahead and have better access for the future. So it's kind of like just setting me up for later. And if you gave me a 24-hour card, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to network everybody together. And I'm going to throw a nice party. I'm going to have an adventure.
Network party.
A network party.
Let's go.
And I will get everyone to get together. And it's just so that people don't have to worry about, oh, you have to pay for this. No, everything's like, if you have the card, it's unlimited.
In order to go to the network party, you have to swim with a shark. No, let me stop.
I don't know. I don't think we'll have enough time to go to Florida and back. You know what I'm saying?
I'm dead. I mean, you can, because you can rent the jet.
You could.
You can do anything with that card. You go to Teterboro Airport. Listen, I got a card. I don't care if you charge me $1 million. Charge it.
I'll look at you funny. I'll be the person like trying to check you out. Like, you sure?
Does the card work? I don't care.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Yep. All right, let's go.
That's it.
But
that's it.
I that would be a thing. But honestly, I would like to have everybody together. Like, if I would invite you guys, I would invite everyone at the Bravery Studio.
Period.
Like, I would have everybody that I can just say, hey, come and enjoy some food, enjoy some music. You know, obviously, just being in the network.
Would you buy yourself a Jeep?
Would I buy myself a Jeep? You know.
Or what type of car would you buy yourself? Would it be a Jeep?
I would get a Wrangler.
Really? Like fully loaded?
Decked out.
Okay.
But at the same time, I feel like that, don't get me wrong, like, it would be nice to have. Like, I would love to have it. But I went, and honestly, I want to like to have something, and I would like to share it with everybody. So it's like, you know, obviously the computer setup is just for me to have future ventures so I can connect with everybody properly. Yeah. And then, you know, as I said, I went, you know what, maybe I'll pull up in the Jeep, fully loaded.
Period.
And I just like, look at my new Jeep. Let's come to this party.
Okay.
But I would throw a banger for everybody to go ahead and network right, and you know, make everyone feel good. You know?
I love that. Anything else we would do with the card?
You know, if I want to be like selfless with it. So like, if maybe someone needed something, and I was like, hey, if you want to get it real quick, you know, maybe I'll look into it.
That's so nice.
You know,
okay.
If I had the opportunity, like, honestly, I would like to share it.
Yeah. Okay.
So share the wealth, guys. Pass it along. I've had so much help from so many people that every person that ever wanted to help me, if they said, hey, you have an unlimited card, help me with this, in a heartbeat.
Shout out to E. All right, E. This is always the suckiest time. It always happens, like, when I'm like in a really good episode, time goes by like this. So what I would love for you to do, my friend, I know we spoke about a lot of topics, but I would love for the viewers to connect with you. So if you could give out your Instagram handle, any other things, so that people can find you and connect with you. This is your time, E. Yes.
So, I mean, you guys can reach out to me on Instagram. It's C_Savoh, SAVOH.
Okay.
You can reach me on Instagram. If you want to get my email, my information, I have it on a link tree there, and that's kind of one of the best sources of where I'm like generating everything. Mm-hmm. A part of the link tree, you're gonna see connections with the other shout outs that I had. You'll see a connection to Elevated Healing.
Love it.
You'll see a connection to the XL Auto Insurance
Love
for
it.
trucking. There's a little bit of my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is honestly like my nerdier side. Like, I play like children card games, like, you know.
It's okay.
But it's just something. I'm gonna switch it over eventually into a business chat. So I'm still in progress and transitioning of getting into the right places. So yeah, just hit me up on Instagram. That's gonna be one of the main places that I'm gonna be at. If you want to hit me up on Facebook, I do have an account on Facebook, Frankie Jeeps. Frankie Jeeps, you know, is like something I made a long time ago. And that's really more of my business page, and my, you know, I'm just a Jeep enthusiast. So if you want questions, you can reach me out via that. And if you want to get a good deal and just, you know, you can consult me. I do that. Like, if you want to say, Frank, I want a car, I'll go find you that car.
Period.
And then we'll get you that deal, and then you're going to save money.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Let's go. Y'all heard it. Hit up your boy, follow, network, all that. All right, friends. This is the time that I don't like, but for anybody who tuned in with us, thank you so much for joining in on this banter. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Support your favorite Spice Girl. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's Queen0F Spice, Queen of Spice. Hit me up with a DM. Let's network. Let's make things going. All that. So just to let y'all know, next Thursday, I will not be going live. Just letting y'all know. I will be coming back next week. Just taking a little break. And but I'll be back. I ain't going nowhere. I just want to let y'all know. Next Thursday, 7 p.m., I will not be here. So just want to let y'all know. I love ya. Stay safe. Drink water. Don't do anything stupid. It's your girl, Mina Mendoza, little girl, big personality, queen of spice. We out of here. Bye.